Yo. All right, let me show you what we got. So we got this pretty big lot. We got this pretty big lot that goes to that corner over there. The owner that owns this owns a towing company, so he owns that house, and then he goes up to the school next door. And we had a 811 come out and mark everything where which everything's pushed back anyway because of the right of way, so we're good. The only thing we got to worry about is the power lines, which we got plenty of room to lay stuff down. We got the mini here. Excuse me. The only concern is this gas line, pipeline. I don't know if they've moved it or or what. So best thing to do, once we start laying all these trees down, we're gonna rip everything out. So, and they got ribbons here they want me to rip them out, and then they're going to use them for something. So it's mostly pine in here. We got a few big pines in here. We're cutting them up, and then we're going to cut them to where we can haul them for the customer, because they're wanting to use it for like a little project. So no big deal. We're just only going to do the big ones, like the small ones and stuff like that. We're not going to you know, do too much. So we're just going to mulch everything else up, and then the ones that's ribboned, we're going to throw them to the side, and then I'm going to have to call them, make sure I don't, you know, if I can rip them up with the excavator, or cut them at the base, and then, or like, so that way I don't damage it and stuff like that. So it's not even a full acre. It's like 0.34 of an acre, but it's really thin. There's some garbage and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to go in concrete, but I'm gonna excavate today, since I had that on the trailer, and then I'm gonna come in and rip up some in the back. That way we can go ahead and start laying stuff down, and then tomorrow I'll just come in, rip up, and then mulch a bunch. So that's my plan, is as soon as I get the machine off, just start mulching a bunch to start open areas. GoPro and my tripod. I bought a new tripod. Oops. So you can see there is like a little, I don't know if you can tell or not, but there's a little suburb. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of a little roundabout of houses right here, or small ones or something, whatever it is. So maybe an hour's worth. Yep, you can kind of tell it kind of looked like this, but the center's not as bad, and this is super muddy too. You can kind of tell by the tractor sticking to it. So like since I've came in and ripped it up, not even an hour's worth. Probably spend tomorrow all day mulching and then start ripping stuff up, pushing trees over. You know, there's some pretty decent sized ones, so shouldn't be too bad. There's some big pines, this one and these two are kind of the ones, and then there's a bunch that way, so they should mulch up pretty easy. So I'm gonna go rip up close. I'm just gonna clean this area right here, kind of leave a buffer so that way I don't sling nothing into the houses. Kind of rip everything on the edges so that way if I'm mulching tomorrow, then I won't sling and hit cars that are coming out from the school. So just start with the center and just start laying stuff down in the center, and then probably take some of these out and just mulch them up, clean them up, stuff like that. So shouldn't be too bad. May try to get with the customer, may try to cut these into logs, and then they've got dump trucks we can set them down into, or just have a grapple truck come and pick them all up and be done with it. So that could be a possibility as well. But I'm thinking they're wanting most of the big pines, the bigger ones, for something, what they're going to do. So no big deal. And then we'll have that little small area over there to mulch up as well. So not too bad. Should be pretty easy tomorrow to mulch. Hopefully I can rip some of this stuff up and get some sunlight in here to dry it out a little bit. So, but yeah, just ripping everything up, mulching it. I don't think this would hurt because it's really dark dirt, so a little bit of rocks as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and rip all this stuff up, and then after I get all that done, then I can probably spend Friday, if it's not raining. It's showing a lot of rain coming Friday, so we'll see how, because it's already muddy. So if I can leave a little bit of a barrier of wood on the ground, then it'll go a little easier because I have a little buffer to drive on. So yeah, we're gonna rip all this stuff up, mulch it up right here tomorrow. Luckily most of this stuff's junk, so it's not hardwoods, so it'll mulch up pretty easy. Bunch of privet. So I'm thinking they're wanting to keep like a bunch of the bigger ones on the outskirts, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so it's almost 11:08. Found some concrete, started ripping up. I mean, I ripped up the whole lower side, which we do have bigger trees, but they're not going to take as long as these bigger ones and stuff like that. As long as it's going to take me to come in and rip this up and mulch it. So this little teeny stuff ain't going to matter because we're going to bulldoze all this. I think I found the old septic tank right there, busted it up, but they're going to have to do that anyway if we're going to put a shop here. So it's so mushy, it's not even funny. So going ahead and get this where nobody can steal it, because there's a lot of people stealing machines I've been seeing online. So tomorrow I'm gonna come in and mulch everything up, but I'm gonna like all this other smaller stuff, I'm rip it up, mulch it up, and then we're gonna start on the bigger stuff probably Friday. So, but that way when I get here in the morning, I can let the machines warm up, but also get the see this, yeah, concrete, probably septic tank or something. Well, yeah, we'll have to stay clear from this. Got some of those. I'm not sure what this is, but stuff right there is hard as a rock. All right, so we're gonna call it a day. We'll be back tomorrow to finish up the mulching, because right now it's kind of making a mess. And I'd rather start one side so they've been all over the place. That way I can be efficient. So start mulching up there and start ripping stuff down, and then like these right here, there's a bunch of them. Might load them up and take them down the road to his lot he has where he can burn this. So, but there's also the gas line I need to call about as well on the way home. So, but yeah, we got the septic tank here. They're gonna have to blade this and fill this back in, so that way they can put their shop right here where it's going. But we're gonna come back tomorrow, mulch everything up in the morning, and then mulch, and then rip some stuff down, mulch, and rip it up, mulch it again. That way we can get pockets to start dropping these bigger pines. So we're gonna clear out this and then start laying them down this way, and then follow the ones on the property line back here in the back, drop them down this side. So these won't take long to mulch either. So yep, not much going on here, so, or not much of a job, so most of these are going to be cut up for logs, so that way I ain't got to mulch at all, so it won't take as long. But that few big trees, once I clear all the rest of that, should start going pretty sweet. So anyway, we'll be back. All right, forgot to charge this up. You can see what we got here. Today's the big day for the big stuff. Parked out in the mud again. Luckily the machine wasn't stolen. It's good. I think I've seen like 4 machines stolen that was cats, which, I mean, you hide them a little bit, but anyway, once we get this going, it's still pretty muddy but not as bad. We got the grapple, got the mulcher, and we'll go ahead and let this run, get it warmed up, and we'll start mulching. I'm gonna go ahead and find the center blocks while this thing's warming up, because we're fixing to start absolutely shredding in the next little bit. So we still got a pretty good amount of stuff to do and mulch up. So we'll see how this goes, and maybe we can get some work done. We also had the neighbor behind there, behind the storage things, or the supposedly elderly home care, whatever it is, was complaining about me clearing and stuff like that. It's supposed to have a 5-foot or 10-foot barrier, and this is why I always had to do in the city work. So you always got to deal with a bunch of crybabies. I'm out here doing a job. So, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and start mulching and see what we can get done. All right, so got that screaming. We're going to go ahead. I got right here is a bunch of concrete. He's thumping. We got a bunch of concrete right here. I guess this is like an old walkway or a home place. Bunch of rocks. So I'm just going to kind of glaze on top of it. I'm not sure how. It feels like it goes about right in here, so probably need to find out before I start. Yeah, it looks like it goes through right here. It probably goes a good bit, but I need to be careful, so that way I don't damage a tooth holder, because that's going to be an absolute nightmare. So I'm going to come in and I left this little buffer out there, so that way if I sling something, then it won't hit anything. So you can kind of see now, it was thick, but it so I hit a bunch of I don't know, it's coax or something right here, so I need to clean it up. But so what I did was maybe an hour's worth of mulching. Like, it was 9 something when I started. It's not even 10 yet. So I got out. It's freaking mushy. I'm gonna try to throw some of this stuff in a pile, remulch it up. But anyway, what I done, I forgot about the GoPro over. It was supposed to be recording, but I forgot. There's a lot of lumps in here. The owner of this lot called me because of the neighbor back there is giving him an absolute fit. So there is some tubing somewhere or piping. Oh, here it is. I've hit this thing several times. It's probably boogered up some knives. Yeah, look at that, straight cutting. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff cleaned up, and then there's a bunch of ones that's got ribbons, so I'm trying to rip out, and then once I get this opened up, start pulling some of it back out and remulching it right here, because it's lumpy, and then that way it's slinging the mulch, and it's a lot smoother now. So I guess the water runoff in several spots, and it's really mushy, so the mulch is really helping with it. So there's several spots there I got to pick up some tubing or piping, whatever. So we'll reset the GoPro up. It's right there. So let's get back to it. So I've figured out what, when you have time to sit here, of course I'm listening to music and stuff like that, but the only thing I don't like about having two GoPros, you know, the GoPro's right there, is I'm having to go back and forth of like, okay, I did this part this time, and then having to go back and forth, which is annoying, but it don't matter. But what I'm gonna do is, there's a bunch of teeny ones I'm not gonna worry about. Excuse me. We got this up here. I don't even know what time it is. It's been a couple hours. I mean, this is a pretty good amount by myself, even though it's super muddy and hilly in this lot. And it all boils down to right in here where the power line runs. There's a lot of hardwoods here, so luckily we won't have too much dealings with them, because we're the customer said he'll bring his dump truck up here and we can cut those up in sections, and I can mulch most of it, but like all that's pine over there and most of this is pine, so it's just this little bunch right here in the center. Not sure how and why, how that happened. It looks like it's been cleared a long time ago for a house. So but yeah, that's what we got. It's mulching pretty good. Just a few little back drags. Right now I'm not doing too much of a good cleanup, because, well, I'll have to dig that up. But anyway, so I just kind of went in places. There's some center blocks over here. They're just everywhere. Now since we cleaned up a little bit, we can start ripping up some trees later, but I'm gonna try to get as much mulching as I can. Like come in here, rip up some of these smaller ones, and like this size is ones I'm gonna save for his wife to use for the meal. So like all these other smaller ones, it's like a Coke can or a water bottle, they can be ripped out, mulched up, and then once we start cleaning these up, so I may get it to where me and Grant can do most of it, just laying a bunch of trees down and cutting them up. So I'm just kind of getting here and thinning it out, but also I'm having to get the ones with ribbons now, since his wife is wanting those for a particular reason. So, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and take a bathroom break, stretch a minute, grab a snack. All right. Oh, I've been in that machine for a while. Oops. You know, I was right there at a tree, but we got all this cleaned up. It takes more time when you're piled up real thick. Like that's what this was over here. It was super thick. I'm just letting everything cool off, spool down. Gotta leave a 5-foot barrier, so I'm gonna go in and just mulch straight down. I mean, for about 4 hours worth of work of mulching, this is pretty good. I think I need to tune the head, because I just feel like it bogs down. Because I mean, some people are like, oh, I could have had that done by lunchtime. Like, well, I don't have an ASB 120 or 135, so but I don't know what else to tell you or do for you. But also Alabama has some really hardwoods as well, but we also have a lot of pine as well. It's like invasive, I'm gonna go clean the road off, because there's a bunch of chunks I gotta throw back over here, so that way nobody will bust a tire and then have to hear that as well. So so I gotta leave in just a little bit. Got something going on, but come back up here when I get back, so hopefully I may have enough time. If not, I'll have to just grab the truck and go. But I got a bunch of stuff that I've got to cut for the customer, but the next step is ripping up everything else. Like I got that small little corner, then the power line, and then the little very small little area over there. It's nothing but pines. It'll probably take half a day to rip all that up and just drop it and mulch it up. But what's going to take it the most is this center and this corner right here, as there's also a pipeline. And then I got these big ones right here. I think the biggest one really is this one. It's tall wise, but that one's not really tall, because it goes up to there, and this one's all the way up that way. So these pines won't take long, especially with me and Grant ripping stuff up, mulching, dropping, and cutting up. So I was going to try to do that, but it's really, really windy. I was hoping it would show how windy it is, but it's not a good day, because we got power lines over there and on the other side, and then power lines right there. So it's a big old box. The only openings I got is the length of this on each one. Like you've got 3 or 4 over there, it's big, and a few junky ones. But once we get that center clear, we can start dropping, pushing with the excavator. So maybe this one, that one's pretty big too. But really, once I start coming in and ripping some of these smaller ones down, then it'll give me an opening. But I do have the excavator ripper somewhere. I think it's in the bucket. But yeah, I mean, this ain't really gonna take me long. So the customer does have a dump truck, so we're gonna get him to bring it over here. That way we can cut this stuff up. That way he can take it and burn it. Because if not, then it's gonna cost me more to have hauled off. So we'll just cut everything in small chunks. He can dump it. So, but yeah, you gotta work with the customers. But there's not many customers that has equipment to help you as well. So I almost talked for 4 minutes. That's crazy. But anyway, we're gonna get this road cleaned up, because there's a lot of cars coming in and out of here. So and then once we get this done, we'll work for just a few more minutes, and then we'll head on out.